Good evening and welcome everyone. My name is Alex and I'm just uh, bringing things up live. Sorry, I'm just waiting for a few things and checking them out. So, okay, this is tonight's office hours where I'm making myself available to answer questions from anyone about just about anything. And in the intermeeting time, if there's anything that no one's asking any questions also, I've got some things I'll go through. I've spent some time writing some code today. So don't have any questions from anyone pending. We'll get through that one. I'll get back to the code soon, but I'll spend a moment talking about The Great Escape. It's another movie similar to the last time I had an office hours and spoke about a World War II movie that's on YouTube for free. It's an epic. They had a whole bunch of stars at the time and said, we're going to retell the story. So the Germans and the Americans and the British and were fighting in World War II. It starts off in Germany. It starts with captured aircrew. And so they've been flying over Germany, got shot down, get captured, and put in prison. And a lot of them tried to escape. But they figured out eventually that the people that tried to escape several times would keep trying, and they decided we're going to build a prison for them to and put all of the, I think as the movie says, put all the bad eggs in one basket or rotten eggs in one basket. So we've got a whole bunch of seasoned escapees in the prison, and after about 5 minutes, people get together because they've all been just shipped. The movie starts where everyone's just been shipped to this new prison, and they're like, we're going to break out? Of course we are. So they get to it, and they initially try to rush out as they're unexpected because there's still some Polish or, yeah, they probably aren't Russian. So yeah, Polish workers in the prison, and they've been chopping some wood down as a work party, and they slip inside a group of them and get ready to march out to them. But the Germans detect this and they're on top of their game. They challenge the prisoners. It's almost as if, we know every move. And the British and Americans decide, well, we're going to dig. There's a few people that still try. There are other ways to get out. So one of the characters in there, Hilts, is played by Steve McQueen, and he tries to escape several different times. And each time as he gets caught, he gets taken to solitary confinement. And as the prisoners, they see this as their one way to keep fighting the Germans. Their cause to break out, escape, cause trouble. So that way, if the Germans are looking for people on the inside of Germany, then as well as fighting people on the outside, it could be too much for them. So they hatched together a plan to, I think, take 250 people out. I don't know how many people are in the prison, but it would be a huge escape. And the story shows the plan is the prisoners get together, they formulate plans, have methods of communication to secretly communicate that guards are coming so they can get away with some things without being watched. And they also make disguises, forge papers. They try and give everyone who escapes the best shot to get back to Britain or escape. And they've all got sort of different plans. Some of them are going to walk and go a long way. People sort of take things as they appear. Someone opportunistically steals a bicycle. Someone else steals a motorbike. A lot of people go to a train station, but I think bombing from the night before holds the train up, so they can't really escape too far from the prison, and the police are hot on the heels. It's about 3 hours, and it's one of the movies, before I knew it was on YouTube, it was one I'd highly recommend because it shows quite a bit to begin with, and if someone was wanting to know the words for something, it would prompt them to ask those questions and point them out. And also at the end of it, it deals with many different forms of transport as well. Between a railway, someone even ends up stealing an aircraft at the end just to escape. And it's a tribute to the service people as well. And it's action-packed. It's one of my favorite movies. So I don't know if I should have a watch night scheduled and have a stream to support if anyone's got any questions, but there's a link. I believe the link is in the description, and to go through, if anyone wants to watch it. I do believe, but I'm not sure, it's available to all countries, but it might be geo-blocked to some countries. It may not be available. So if that's the case, let me know, and I'll keep a note for future references, because if I do see some free movies that I think are interesting, and there's a few on the list at the moment, I'll bring it to the channel and talk about it. So I also had a little bit of an introduction to another program, so I'll bring it up. Sorry, I got to do a bit of typing. Wasn't quite expecting it. I think I've got it installed. All right, I'll just put the emission screen up for a little bit till it loads. But Canagram is a program that scrambles words up, and the player or user has to unscramble them and to figure out what they are. And there's also hints available. So I downloaded the source for it. It does come with a few things to unscramble, and it also deals with hints. So Connectogram was something very similar, and it had several of these anagrams. Although some letters in Connectogram were in the right spot, anagram, I believe, shuffles or has a chance to shuffle everything. So I'll just check something else as well. There we go. So Connectogram sometimes marks some letters that are there, and it has about 6 or 7 letters all shuffled up. But Canagram has shuffled letters, and it also has hints, which is one of the reasons I'm liking it. And I'm going to see if I can maybe bring it to more of a challenge or something you could tune in and play along with as well from home, as well as try and make hints something similar to the quizzes. It's a way to increase vocabularies and try and make things fun as well. Now it looks like I'll just try one last thing. Okay, I'll try and compile it from the source. So it's got a whole bunch of internal vocabularies, and it's while that's happening, I'll bring, there we go. It's got a whole bunch of internal vocabularies, and I want to go through and make my own questions up and have some hints. So that way it's sort of like a crossword, but not as hard, in that all of the letters are already there for you rather than just blank squares to fill out. So if that's something you're interested in, then let me know, and I can see about bringing it to the channel. I'm just trying to recompile it because I know I downloaded the source, compiled it, saw something I didn't like, changed it, and then recompiled it. So it's a bit of sort of poor planning on my part. But on the other hand, this is an office hours live stream, so I've the main goal. Everything else is to answer any questions. So I'll just double check and have a look at the chat again. No. Okay, so I've got a terminal off screen. It's almost finished compilation. And then I'll try and bring it up. I want to try and make it interesting and come across words that aren't commonly used and try and have hints as well. So that can, yeah, I remember a long time ago as a student, I went to a class and the classroom was pretty full in the first lecture. And the lecturer came in on the time and opened up a slide presentation and literally came through and started reading the slides word for word as it was. So, and the next week, about half the number of people were in the class. And then the week after that, about half that number of people were in the class. And then I think eventually we settled on about 6 to 8 people. It certainly didn't work out well. It was pretty boring. I sort of forced myself to go through and sit through it rather than read the slides, which I could have downloaded at home and gone through eventually. This is the last chance. It's just running up now. If it doesn't work, I'll switch on to the GCompris roadmap. Nope. Okay, so it hasn't worked, but it should be showing up now. All right, so that's canogram now. And bring in a hint. So it comes in a bun. All right, so hamburger. And then another example. Wallet was the first thing that comes to mind. No hint. Oh, yep, 12. So I made a sample vocabulary. There's tools there to, yeah, let's go into it. There's tools where you can go through and edit your own vocabularies in the program. It does save it locally to the user rather than in the common area viewable by everybody on the computer. And one of the other downsides as well is, at least on my computer now, is it's giving me the error messages of not being responding. So I'm not too sure what's going on there, whether it's to do with the user interface of the program or the window not loading, but go through and have a look at vocabularies, create a new one. I want to try and bulk add some stuff. So anyway, I'll explore that a bit further later on. I'll kick this can down the road, so to speak. So let's close this up. And yep, okay, let's bring that out. Right. So that's Canogram. If you do want to see more of it, let me know. And GCompris roadmap and asking for input. So my last off of this video, I made a video about GCompris where I added a new task to it, where I modified it, where it's a game of memory. So it's if you've got cards shuffled and face down. One of the cards is got a name on it. One of the cards has got a word on it. Sorry, it's got a picture on it. One of the cards has got a word on it, and you've got to match the word in the picture. And I thought, well, that's okay. It's good. You get repetition there and get to see the same word and picture several different times. But what if you're just learning out? This can be awfully frustrating if you don't know what they are. So I knew there was another issue in there where, not an issue, another job in there, task, activity, but it only had several different items in there. So I created memory word picture. Sorry, word picture is the most recent done task, where you have the word and then you've got the images and you've got to drag them across and match them. There's 6 at a time. If you get them all correct and hit OK, it'll progress you on to the next one. And if you don't, then it'll tell you which ones you got wrong. So I'll go through and break that up now. There are some extra things that I wanted to improve just a little bit more, but it's good enough to ship, so to speak. It's my first had a pack of it. It's good enough. So let's open it up now. Well, this will take a while as well. I'll just put the intermission screen up again and I'll be back soon. Oh, sorry, this. There we go. So now I'm loading up GCompris and okay. So now I've got the read along to learn English GCompris version. There's a bug in there where it's got the wrong version number. That's all right. So the initial one that was there was name the image, and I'll just dip into that right now. So we've got mailbox, postcard, fishing boat, and then it comes through and shows some other things up there as well. So lamp, wait, yeah, I'll go with it. Lamp, sailing boat, and bulb. When you hit OK, it'll tell me that I've got some things wrong. So I'll swap the bulb and the lamp over. OK again, and then I've get the tick in and go on to the next one, and then repeat that as it is with bottle, egg, flower, egg cup, glass, and vase. And then repeats. But the only issue with this is that there was only 7 different options with just 6 options in there. And I thought, well, should be able to hopefully expand on that. So I created a new activity, match word and pictures. And I'll go through that now. I've got some new graphics from that weren't originally part of the program. Are able to be released as they've got a license that I can be shared at, and I've got documented that in there as well. So, okay, breakfast, something to eat and something to drink, a coffee cup, a credit card, a towel on a coat hanger, and then we've got keys, but I'm going to put that in the bed spot just to test that it gets wrong, and then I'll swap that with the key. So those 2 are in the wrong spot, but I'm going to hit OK. And then it's flagged them as wrong for me. So let's swap them over, resets the bed back, and then off we go. On to the next one. So got a TV, a television, a kettle, a telephone. It is one of the older style telephones. Mobile phones are a lot more common now. Sink, pen and paper, and beer. It's one of the telephones that had the advantage of you could slam the handset down if you were frustrated. An alarm clock, an air conditioner. It's the outside part of the air conditioner. But it still hopefully gets the message across. Newspaper, a washing machine, get the clothes clean, toilet paper, and safe. So I realize this one could be a little bit confusing, but hopefully the indicator from the elevator is enough for now. Toiletries, as they came from the same image pack. Luggage and elevator will appear again later. Parking, a taxi, and a pool to go swimming.
Woohoo!
So now moving on to transportation, we've got an airplane, car, train, bike, lorry, and ship.
Woohoo!
Still with transportation, we've got traffic lights, a barrier to stop cars from going through if the road's been closed off. It might be dangerous or an accident happened. Helicopter, minibus, and a scooter.
Woohoo!
So I'll just have a quick pause here and take a drink. Okay, and I'm back. So this is another from another set that hasn't been seen before, and from a water fountain for people to drink. Men. So we've also had the toilet image that's got a man and a woman on there. I've included the men and women images and information, an emergency exit. So in case you've arrived from a country and you've never spoken English before, you get into an airport and see these images to hopefully give you an introduction to what they
Woohoo!
are. And rubbish bin. And because of the rubbish bin recycling related, I've included both of those together. Another one for drinking water, cash, telephone, and a police officer. You need to see someone for some help.
Woohoo!
Toilet again, Wi-Fi, wireless connectivity, ATM in case you need to get some cash out, baby care room, and a shower, and an emergency telephone in case you need to call help.
Woohoo!
This one's no entry. It's a smoking area. Someone might be in a movie. Say, quiet, please. Someone's injured. Go to first aid. A general sign for caution. There might be several different things on there. It might be wet outside,
Woohoo!
or there might be a large amount of traffic in an area for near cars. So this one is hospital in case someone gets sick or injured. The first aid again. This time we're showing an injured finger that's being looked after. And they might need to go to a pharmacy for some medicine. So even though this is a bed similar to the other one, I'm using the word hotel as a place to stay rather than a literal bed inside the room. Slightly different context. A bar, in case someone wants some alcoholic drink, you could say it's a different type of medicine.
Woohoo!
Well, some people think that. And might need to get around the airport. So got a wheelchair accessible ramp, an escalator that's going up, escalator that's going down, just an escalator, not sure which way this is going, something that's wheelchair accessible, and stairs.
Woohoo!
So could be on our way out of the airport now. Yeah, important, included because it was important, a fire extinguisher. Need to go get some baggage. We might need a cart to put the baggage on. It's heavy. An elevator to go up and down. Charge point to recharge a phone or a computer. And a baggage claim area after leaving the plane to get the bags back. the airport, there might be several shops to go to. Might go to a convenience store where we can get some sandwiches and a drink. Might go to a gift shop, get a present for someone, or a bag there for some shopping. This is a image for a vending machine. So we could see a coin being inserted into a slot. There's some drinks there. A coffee shop. If you're waiting for someone or waiting to board, it could be a waiting area. And there might be a news agency there that can sell newspapers or books or magazines.
Woohoo!
So if you're leaving the airport, you might get a bus. Go to a taxi rank for a taxi to take you to where you need to go. A car in the car park. Or you might be going via a ferry, a boat that's designed to carry people. Via the railway to catch a train. Or riding a bike.
Woohoo!
And fasten seatbelts is another sign you might see if you're on a plane. Helicopter is an aircraft that can take off vertically. The plane's leaving. There's planes taking off from the airport. Oops, it looks like I've lost that one. So arrivals, this aircraft is coming in and landing. And then airplane and a fuel station. So it's a Bowser. It's it could be a service station nearby as well to refill the car. And then we've got the departures again for planes taking off.
Woohoo!
So once you've gotten to where you need to go, you might relax with a bit of sport. Might go to the park. Maybe play some soccer. Go swimming. Or the area could be unsafe for swimming. There might be some crocodiles about, or jellyfish, or sharks. Baseball, or it could also be just the water's not too clean. And lastly, tennis. So you could be playing a bit of sport.
Woohoo!
Some other places you might want to go, and this is the last one. There's a post office to send a letter. Might want to go to a barber to get a haircut or a comb. Bath to have a relax, if a nice sit in some nice hot water. Might go to a spot that's camping's not allowed, or camping is allowed. I might also go to a museum, and I think this is the last one.
Woohoo!
So that's pretty much what I've added to GCompris earlier today. And there is one thing I'm not too keen about at the moment. So I didn't want to add too many more, because if you get up to section 17 or something like that, you've got to click all the way through each time. Whereas the memory application, and I'll flip over to that now, the WordPicture memory game. And I've seen this in some of the other ones, but I'm not too sure how to code it. You can change the data set. So if you've played a few of those and you've gotten used to everything, you can tell the program, I don't want to see them anymore. And it just loads up the next one for you. So I want to try and incorporate that feature into this program. And there's some other things that I'll touch on while I'm here. So ordering sentences. This is something else that's going to be on the to-do list soon. The dog barks. And then adding several different ones. And that's something I think that my audience might like a lot to go through and then solve on themselves. So just a reminder, this is free software that can be downloaded and run on your own computer. And there's some other things as well. And I think it's here. Yeah. I also want to copy and adapt this program to touch on some other things. So present a few sentences there and try and tune it with some images. So that way it can help people learn at their own pace. But also I could present and hopefully get a few people tune in for it. So that is my demo of the recent additions. So I'll drop back to the screen for the moment. Just bear with me. Okay, so the word pictures was just done, just demonstrated, and the memory was done as well. So I want to create something based off Braille. So I'm going to probably build something, keep it myself, and just push some of the limits and try it, and then see if I can make some stories there based on interviewing people in different jobs and seeing about different things. We might do a build to tidy up some small things around the edges, but I probably won't release a video based on that. So I want to refer to order letters and order words as well, but I'll probably stick with the goal of using different activity names and create entirely different activities, because I don't want the original developers to have a, see bug reports and go, what is going on here? We know there's no issue with this, but like if I go around and modify their program and then break it, then I don't want them to get bothered by stuff that I'm doing. But at the same time, also if they incorporate stuff that I have been doing, then that I'd be pretty honored with that. I'd like that a lot. So all right, so there's another thing that I might touch on is to make another task with opposite words. So if you've got memory cards, and so instead of a picture and a word, have opposites of tall and short and match them up, and light and heavy and match them up, and go through as well. I'll also see about having an overall guidebook to guide people through it, as well as have some other things, because I wouldn't mind doing a course and making that available to people. So, sorry, and just check something there behind the scenes. I'll be back in a moment. Okay. So that's the roadmap of where I'm going with GCompris. If you've got any requests, then please let me know. I'll see what I can incorporate, but that's roughly where I'm going and what's going on. I'll try and incorporate information about releases there. And there should be a link in the comments to where to download it. But if you search for GCompris-ra at GitHub, you'll be able to find the source, and it's freely available. Any changes I do to this program, I have to do it legally. I have to make the source available. I can't just package this up and then sell it. I need to be able to. People need to be able to freely download the source if I make any changes to it. So, and I'll tick those two off. So, Telegram. So the WordPicture intro, I've done that as well. Testing, I ran that through to make sure that everything is still looks pretty good. There was a bit of a kerfuffle earlier in the day where I created a new branch, added code to the branch. I didn't realize that I switched back to the main branch. Then I made some more code changes, and I was like, why are things inconsistent? And so I ended up merging things and getting it a bit quicker there. So effectively it is released now, but if I do want to, before I completely consider it finished, I want to try and download it from scratch using the instructions in the hacking file of it. So I want to get the official Raspberry Pi that I've got, download the source, so load a new image on it effectively, download its source, and then confirm that it installs, because that's one thing I don't want to unexpectedly just trudge on thinking everything's fine and somehow I've introduced a break into the system somewhere. So with that in case, I don't really have anything I'll call that one a work in progress with the icon there. If anyone has any requests on what to do, I can either jump into GCompris or load up a game of Pioneers and play a few games of that while keeping the door open for maybe another half hour or so and seeing if anyone has any questions. At the same time, if anyone has any requests for me to something to cover in the future, then please leave a comment, or even after the stream is finished, if you leave a comment, I'll try and incorporate that, even if I just make an agenda item here and talk about it in one of the next streams and then get back to you with the link and timestamp and reply to you in the comment. This is what I'm looking to do with office hours. So I think I'll jump in and load up a game of Pioneers and get that going. This is a bit different to normal game of Pioneers. Of course, I've changed some of the names, and I've changed one of the system settings behind the scenes as well. Otherwise, it won't be visible on stream. Changing the theme I'm using from dark theme to a light theme. Okay, so we've got Pioneers going. I've just got the chat window visible again, so if anyone leaves any comment. So it's my turn. I'm at a desk with Julius Caesar, Marie Curie, and Abraham Lincoln. Yeah, that looks attractive to me. So I'll place the settlement here, which means anytime someone rolls a 6, 4, or 11, I'll get some resources. And then 1 bar away is a lumber trade port, which means that I only need 2 lumber to trade for anything else. And could be a grain baron. Grain and a sheep baron. Okay, I'll try being a grain baron. I might have checked that earlier. Yeah, because Marie's blocked me off from getting any ore now. Oh, whoops. No, it's not that bad. Oh, wait. Okay, it's 3 for 1. Okay, so that's not quite what I need. Anyway, I thought it was 2 for 1, but I'll go into that. All right. So roll the dice, Julius Caesar, and I get to place the robber. So placing the robber, I can block anyone from getting materials from one square I choose, and I can steal one of their material cards. So I'm going to mess everybody up. You're not getting grain for a little bit. So, and I'm going to take Julius's card. So my main goal right now is to I'll trade grain for wool, because I really want to get a settlement on this square. Get to place the robber again. Yeah, okay. Well, I've got a brick. Just need some grain. I'll see if I can trade lumber and get a grain. Ooh, yep, okay. I'll trade with you, Marie. Okay, build a new settlement. And finish up. So one thing I did behind the scenes was change the name list of the characters in there from the original program. And I'll trade with Julius Caesar. Right, so I might have seen if someone would have traded wool for lumber. Or if no one's going to do that, no, I'll just trade straight with the bank. Okay, so now I've got 2-to-1 on lumber, I believe, 3-to-1 on anything else. And I could build it a bit further down and get 2-to-1 on sheep with also an 8 sheep. So it should come up quite frequently. Yeah, okay, let's kick on. I'll keep a foot in the door to okay, of course, of the way the chips have fallen, I'll get a development card. So the university itself isn't going to give me any benefits, but I do get an extra point, and I'll mess everybody up again and stop their grain production for a little bit. So let's play that university and get an extra point. So I'm now sitting on 5 points, which is probably put a bit of a target on my back. And I'll finish the turn there. I think they are setting the robber on me to try and steal whatever I can. And I can make another card. Julius Caesar still expanding his army up to the north, so I'm going to steal another. Yep, let's get a development card, and as a soldier, I can force move the robber my turn. So normally I can only move it a roll of 7, which I just did. All right, and I'll upset them as well by stopping the brick production. Though brick production later in the game isn't too important. They've all rejected trade with me. Okay, so I'll move the soldier and then try and block them again. And 3-to-1 on everybody, 2-to-1 on the wall. I can only build one more settlement, so all right, I'm gonna make a bit of a bold play here. And I've almost got enough to build a city now. So a city means that any time a number falls on it, I can get 2 lots of resources for it. So even though I've got 1 for 2 settlements there, I can now place a city on here. At any time if a 10 turns up, I get 2 grain, plus an extra 1 from this one. And any time an 8 gets rolled, I get 2 wool from the sheep pile. So finishing my turn there. Yeah, I'm getting a double from the... Okay. Yeah, things are... Oh, okay. So I'm going to get another city then. And I'll drop it here, which means on a 6 or a 4, I'll get 2 lots. Yep. And Caesar did what I tried to cut him off earlier, but he moved up. Guess that's only got myself to blame there. So both him and I are neck and neck for the front. He's got 7 points. I've got 7 points. Marie Curie's only got 5. And Abraham Lincoln's on 4. So I'm going to place the robber and steal from him. I'll finish it there. Might try and take his longest road. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I'd need to take quite a bit more. Okay, so what do I need to win? I'm going to grab another city. I want some more, so I'm going to trade lumber for it. And I'll put that there and maybe become a grain baron. So I only need 2 more points. Which means pretty much if I build a longest road and Caesar doesn't take it back off me, I win the game. All right, I'll trade 3 brick away and the grain, and Caesar should be sweating pretty soon. So 1 more settlement, and I can put a settlement there if that works. Marie Curie's now got... Okay, so I'll keep going back to try and suppress their grain production. Let's see if I can sort this out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I'm gonna... Okay, do it this way. Try and get the brick there. And then at the same time, I'll some ore, but trade from the wool. I think I might have just messed myself up a bit there. So sitting on 9 points. And someone just stole all my ore. 12, 10 grain. And the lumber. So if I do a 3 to 1, I've lost that one. All right, so I think I'm going to have to trust in something there. And looks like I can't buy a development card anymore. All right, well, maybe I've got to buy a development card first. I'll try and go down swinging then. Yeah, maybe all the development cards have been played. All right, I'll upgrade that to a settlement then. So probably next turn. Upgrade this one to a city, and okay, I've won the game, but it was close. So Julius Caesar was behind. I think Marie Curie's got the largest army off, taking the crown off Julius Caesar. It has been a momentous game. So Julius Caesar is a renowned Roman leader, and Marie Curie is a scientist. She started work on radioactive materials. And Abraham Lincoln is one of the early presidents of the United States. And wow. Unfortunately for him, he only managed to get 2 resources out of it. So, okay. I might wrap it up. So, yep. Okay. I'll finish it up here. Thank you for tuning in. And I'll do another one. I'll aim to have this quite frequently for people to drop in, but I'll also try and have presentations planned up for time in between. So thank you for watching, and